In this video, I'm going to show you a simple 5-step plan that will help you help yourself if you're age 60 and have nothing saved for retirement. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
I recently had a discussion with a man who was almost 61 years old, and we were talking about his financial situation. And as he put it, he was resigned to just retiring and living a poor retirement. So we talked for a while. And when you look at his situation, it wasn't particularly unusual. He didn't live an extravagant lifestyle throughout his adulthood and just spent everything that he made on baubles and trips and cars and things like that. Like many people, when he first started earning an income, he spent more than he should have, and that lasted about 5 years, maybe 7. But in his mid-20s, he had his first child, and then quickly had his second child. And from that point forward, he was laser focused on being the patriarch of the family and doing the right thing. Over the course of a few decades, he had to reset his career a few times. In fact, he reset his career 3 different times. And by the time he reached 60, he was at a point where he didn't have anything really saved for retirement. And looking back, he couldn't figure out what had gone horribly wrong. In the conversation, he asked me what he should do. And I said, the very first step is start contributing to your company 401k. And if they don't have a 401k, start contributing to an IRA. But you need to start taking money off the table and putting it aside for later. The good news, for him anyway, is that when we talk about what he wants from his retirement, he's not looking for things. He's not looking for big trips. He doesn't want to take a 6-month cruise his first year in retirement and then do it again the second year because he always wanted to do it. He wants to spend time, more time, with his family, with his children, and with his spouse. And the important thing is that he's engaged with doing the right things. And if he can stick with it, I'm confident that he will have the type of retirement he's looking for. But what I gave him was a 5-step plan. And that's what we're going to talk about here. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Jeff. I'm a CPA turned author turned public speaker. I also have 25 years of financial services industry experience, and I'm a registered Social Security analyst. I started this channel in 2020, really because my daughter asked me to. Grandpa, my father, got sick like many people did in 2020, and she saw me helping him work through his finances for a few weeks anyway until he could help himself. And she said, Dad, if you can help Grandpa, can't you help others as well? And with that, the channel was born. Today, we have over 400,000 subscribers, over 60 million views, over 5 million hours of watch time, and we would love it if you become part of our YouTube family. And the fact is, there's a lot of new information coming out, even daily sometimes, on things like 401ks, IRAs, Medicare, Social Security, and taxes, among other things. So if this is of interest to you, click subscribe and turn on notifications, and you'll get alerted the next time we post a video. We post about 3 times a week. All right, let's get into it. Step number 1, assess where you are today and reassess your mindset. First of all, know that you're not alone. 1 out of every 4 people retires without any money whatsoever. That's according to the Federal Reserve Board. And 40% of people plan on living on Social Security alone, which means that they don't have a lot saved. That's according to the Social Security Administration. So the fact that you don't have anything at age 60 or 61, however old you are, is something you need to focus in on, but you're not alone in needing to focus in on this point. And human nature is a funny thing. When people don't feel alone, even if their situation isn't great, when they don't feel alone, it changes their mindset from defeat to possibility. And it allows you to move forward and work hard to change where you are for a better tomorrow. But, and this is really important, in order for you to move forward, to make it happen, this needs to go from an idea to a must in your mind. And today is the day that it starts. And the very first thing that you do is take personal stock of your situation and your timeline. And this is hard for people to do because it focuses the mind on what needs to be done and takes the mind away from the possibility of a miracle, the lottery, for example. And by the way, actually taking stock of your situation, putting together a plan for a lot of people reduces or eliminates anxiety because people know that they're probably not going to win the lottery. And if that's a strategy or something like that, well, it's going to cause a lot of stress. But having an actionable plan that makes sense is a way to reduce anxiety, for a lot of people anyway. Clarify the age that you want to retire, your health, your timeline. Even 5 years makes a huge difference if you take that 5 years and you do something with it. Your ability to earn even a modest income is your most valuable asset when you're looking at retirement and you have no funds available. Have faith, resilience, and determination. The fact is, most people give up too soon when they're trying to work their way out of a hole. They try for a few weeks or even a few months, and then they look at their situation and say, not a lot has changed, so this isn't working. Real progress takes time, and the fact is, most people overestimate what they can get done in 1 year and drastically underestimate what they can get done in 3 or 5. A disciplined mindset will help you work your way through difficult times and come out better on the other end, much better in many cases. The next point is get clarity on your cash flow. Know the numbers. Now here's a basic truth about retirement math. Many people are afraid of it, not because it's difficult, but because they get confused with the stock market. They look on television and they see charts going up, green arrows going up, green arrows coming down, tickers flying past them, and they look at that and they think that is retirement math. It's not. Now here's the truth about what you see on television. I spent 25 years as a banker in New York, and I met thousands of people in the industry, a lot of them very, very smart, and only a handful of them could tell you about what's happening, more than 10% of what's happening anyway, on the television screen. And the reason is because what you see is for general consumption for a lot of different people who have a lot of different skills, not for one person. The important thing is to know that they didn't really need to know what was going on with everything in front of them, because all they needed was to understand their little piece of the chaos that was in front of them. And the same holds true for you. You don't need to know everything that is going on when you turn on the television or you read the Wall Street Journal. You just need to understand some basics, retirement math. Now, what is the retirement math that I'm talking about? You need to understand what's coming in and what's going out, and you need to understand it well. That is the foundation for a solid retirement. You can't manage what you can't measure. So the first step is to take a 30-day spending audit. Take your credit card statement, your bank statement, your grocery store receipt, and any other information that you need to do a spending audit, and put them in front of you. And by the way, don't forget your paycheck. If you don't have a copy of your paycheck, print one out, go online, print one out. You need a paper copy in front of you for this exercise because you need to mark up some things. And with this information, you need to just ask yourself some basic questions. First, on your statements, understand everything that you're spending money on and put an X next to anything that's useless spending, meaning you bought it, but you never used it. Put a circle around something that you may or may not need in the future, and underline the things that you do need in the future, but perhaps you can purchase them at a lower cost with a bit of planning. Look at your paycheck. How much did you pay in taxes? Do you know the line items on your paycheck? What the difference is between federal, state, and FICA, for example, 3 basic taxes that just about everybody pays. And while everybody is different, this is an example of what typically people would find. Some subscriptions might get an X. These are things that you pay for annually, but you never use. Some dining out might get a circle. Maybe you don't need to dine out 3 times a week. Maybe you can dine out once or twice. And your grocery store receipt, a lot of times those get an underline, maybe even a double underline, because you can buy some of that stuff at a place like Costco, for example, and get it for a lot less money. But understanding how you spend, exactly how you spend, is job one. Gang, one of the biggest challenges people have today is how their financial choices today will affect their life in the future. People try to do it with things like spreadsheets, but the biggest problem with a spreadsheet is that people make mistakes. They either get the formula wrong, or they're off by one cell, or they don't understand exactly what they're doing. They're just copying and pasting something that somebody somewhere told them to do. On this channel, we have only 3 affiliate relationships. One is Bolden Personal Financial Planning Software. This is the personal financial planning software that I personally use Bolden software will conduct an interview of 8 key financial aspects of your life. Your job is to find the information and input it into the software. It's that simple. Once you've done this, you'll have a lot of information at your fingertips. You'll be able to figure out how things look in the future. At the end, you'll get a customized plan based on the information that you put in and where you want to go. If this is of interest to you, you can try Bolden's full feature software free for 2 weeks using our affiliate code go.bolden.com/Schmidt, or just scan the QR code in the lower right-hand corner. If you try it and you like it, then you keep it and it's $12 a month paid annually. If not, you can cancel it, although most people don't cancel it after 2 weeks. Step 3. Once you've identified the leaks, the next step is to focus on keeping more of your income. With the information that you have from Step 2, write down the opportunities you have to reduce your expenses. Even small changes to your spending patterns can make a big difference in the future. Get creative about reducing your expenses. We covered the low-hanging fruit in the previous step, but is there anything you can do to reduce your expenses? Can you refinance your car? Do you even need a car at all? Because cars come with insurance payments and maintenance. One of the biggest game changers for us personally in our household was when I looked at our utility bill. In fact, our heating oil bill. Now, where I live, natural gas isn't shipped into the homes, and the only way to really heat your house is with heating oil. And we've been using the same company for over 10 years. And I noticed over the last couple of seasons that prices went way up. When I contacted them, they said, it's not us, it's just the market. But when I looked online, prices hadn't gone up nearly as much as they had raised prices with us. So I contacted them again, and they said, well, it's taxes. It's more taxes. Now, we had been using this company for years, and they did the maintenance on our heating system and our air conditioning system. We knew the technicians personally. And because there was an element of familiarity with the technicians and with the company, we didn't necessarily jump, and we should have, on the fact that the prices had gone up so significantly, because why would somebody raise prices 50% in 2 years? And after that phone call, my wife saw one of our neighbors getting heating oil from another company. And so we called them, and they were almost half the price of our current company. Within a week, we signed an agreement with the new company, and I called our previous company and said goodbye. They asked if they could match the price, and I asked them how they could do that, given that it seemed like, based on what they told us, that it wasn't them that was raising the price, it was taxes. I heard nothing but silence on the other end of the phone. Today, we love our new heating oil company and the hundreds of dollars a month we save in heating oil costs, if not more. So do the work, and you'll find that a lot of things that you think can't be changed can in fact be changed if you get creative. The next step is strengthen your financial assets and your income going into retirement. Once you've plugged the leaks and once you've found additional savings, you have additional cash flow, it's time to do something with that cash flow. What you do will depend a lot on your risk tolerance. It's beyond the scope of this video, but just know that when you have the cash, it's not there to be spent on something else. It's there to go into savings. In fact, that's the point of the video. But in addition to building your assets, you want to strengthen your income going into retirement. Now, there are a lot of ways to do this. One is to work a little bit longer. If you planned on retiring at, say, age 62, would 64 not be a better idea if, in fact, you could save for 2 years more? Or maybe it's 65 or 66 or 67, who knows? In a situation where you don't have a lot of retirement savings and you're trying to plan for the future, trying to manage your assets for the future, longer is better because you're not drawing down from your assets to live in retirement. You're still earning money, and also you're still contributing. Maybe this doesn't mean working at the same company. If you can't stand working there, and a lot of people have told me over the years that they can't stand working where they're working, maybe it means switching to a competitor or switching to a part-time job, doing hobby income that you love and turning it into full-time income. Who knows? It doesn't need to be painful, or as painful anyway, depending on who you are. Think of alternatives to make it better and easier for you to continue to generate income. I know a lot of people who manage to turn a small nest egg into a large nest egg simply by doing what we're talking about here. If you haven't heard of the rule of 72, it's something that's really important. And that is simply take the number 72, divide it by the return that you're getting from your investments, and that's the amount of time that it takes to double your investments. For example, if you get a 12% return, the historical 50-year average of the S&P 500, then it takes about 6 years to double. Now, 12% is a very high return and hard to consistently meet in the short to medium term, by the way. So most people think about it in the 6 to 8% range. An 8% return means that you double your investments every 9 years, and a 6% means that you double your investments every 12 years. And remember that you're continuing to add to your investments, so it's not just one number. It continues to grow. And that number continues to grow with earnings even when you retire, until you spend it, of course. Next up, delay Social Security when possible. A lot of people, when they go into retirement, don't have an asset problem as much as they have a cash flow problem. They don't have enough cash flow to cover their bills. By delaying Social Security, your payment will go up based on a schedule of discounts and premiums, meaning that the longer you wait, the larger your Social Security payment becomes, up until a point anyway. The earlier you take it, the smaller the payment. And this is what the schedule of discounts and premiums looks like for someone who is the primary earner. Invariably, somebody says at this point, well, if I don't have any money saved for retirement, why wouldn't I just take Social Security early and invest it? My response is usually something like, well, I've seen videos on how to do it. In fact, I have one myself, which goes through the math. It's not as straightforward as you think. And how are you going to live? It's one thing if you would have retired anyway and you have a big nest egg and you're trying to continue to grow the nest egg and not touch it. It's another altogether if you're working and drawing Social Security, because effectively what you're doing is you're drawing Social Security to live on Social Security, and if you earn too much, you have to start giving part of that payment back. Next up, take time to improve your physical and mental health to improve your earnings capability. If you're working to change the direction of your retirement, you might as well try to stack the deck a little bit. The fact is, people who are more physically fit and more mentally acute have better earnings capacity, generally speaking. Talk to your doctor about getting on an exercise program. Make sure that you are up to date on all of your medications and other aspects of physical treatment to make sure that you are in prime physical shape to go into that big earnings season or seasons ahead. Gang, I have a free gift for you. It's my retirement readiness quiz. You answer 15 questions. It takes about 2 minutes, and you will have a 12-page report emailed to you instantly with tips on how to improve 12 different key areas. Some of them you can improve in as little as 30 minutes. If this is of interest to you, then simply go to holyschmidt.com/quiz, input your email information, no credit card, no phone number required, fill out the quiz, and it will be sent to you instantly. You'll also be added to our list for tips, tricks, and other useful information for people going into retirement. The last point, stay current and use advanced tools to do so. Watching videos like this and staying current is really important if you want to stay on top of your finances. Learning some of the basic language like retirement accounts, tax strategies, catch-up contributions, and non-retirement savings, and understanding how they all work might take you 15, 20 minutes of time. But that 15 or 20 minutes of time can be invaluable when you're trying to plan your future. Knowledge is power when it comes to your retirement. And for some people, a home equity conversion mortgage might be appropriate. Now, this is my least favorite out of all of the options for people, but in specific situations, it might be a way forward. It eliminates mortgage payments and provides supplemental retirement income if used appropriately. But I will say it is not my favorite of the options. In order to use something like this, I highly recommend talking to a qualified professional. Don't make the decision on your own. Talk to a certified financial planner or your accountant, but really understand the risks associated with this, because for every one person this might be good for, there are 3 or 4 that probably it's not good for. If you like this video, check out that video, the hidden risks that erode net worth after retirement. And also don't forget to check out Bolden at go.bolden.com/Schmidt to get your 2 weeks free. This is Jeff Schmidt, and I will see you in that video right there.